welcome to Let's Talk Disability, your one-stop place for all things disability, lifestyle and so much more. So today we're doing a little bit of a series. These will be put on the podcast on Apple Music, Spotify as bonus episodes. So if you didn't already know, I volunteer at a station called the Cat Extra. Now this is based in Crewe. Now this goes live on your DAB, goes live on the radio, on the internet, and on here I interview a range of different interviewees who all have a story that they want to share, whether that's raising awareness of a disability or a condition or helping out with mental health. These are all people who really just want to spread a message, and for me, I want to spread their message too, so I'm putting their interviews on this podcast. So our first guest, which I'm going to be introducing, is called Scot Baily. Now, 5 years ago, Scot was diagnosed with a condition called diabetic retinopathy, which has caused him to become blind. However, Scot has not given up on his hopes, passions and dreams and is now training for the 2028 Paralympic Games in Los Angeles. He joined me last week in the studio with his guide dog Milo to talk about what diabetic retina is and his experience training in judo to make it to the Paralympic Games. I hope you enjoy. So in the studio right now we have Scot Baily. He was diagnosed with a condition a couple of years ago called diabetic retina, and he's also training for judo in the Paralympics. Welcome, Scot.
Hello, Athina, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm hot, it's warm, but yeah, I'm good, I'm okay.
Would you be able to introduce yourselves to anyone who may be listening who may not know who you are?
Yeah, so my name is Scot Baily. I live in Crewe. I'm a dad to two daughters, husband to Amanda. Daughters' names are Grace and Darcy. I'm visually impaired, blind. I've got my guide dog Milo sitting next to me. 34 years old, and I'm studying counselling and psychotherapy at Keel Univesity, along with training for the 2028 Los Angeles Paralympics for judo.
Whoa, that's amazing. So would you be able to briefly explain your story of becoming blind and when you first noticed signs something wasn't quite right?
Well, first of all, I've been diabetic for roughly 25 years, and the condition I've got is called diabetic retinopathy, and that condition's where the blood vessels in the back of your eye kind of leak, so you get blood in your eye obscuring your vision. About 5 years ago, I started to get little black dots in my eyes, which was, now I know it was blood. I was working in the milking parlour when I actually got a big gloop of blood in my eye. I had a hemorrhage in the back of my eye. The blood bled into my eye. I can explain it as if like you've got a pint of water and you drip in a blob of ink into it. You can see the blob of ink, and then you shake your head, you shake the glass of water, and the water just goes murky, and that's what I am actually looking through. Yeah, and that's basically how I've lost my sight, through the diabetic retinopathy and the complications that went along with it.
Was it quite scary the first time it happened?
I didn't know what was happening. As you can appreciate, you don't expect to see big black smudges in your vision when your vision's good and you're at work. It's very scary. The treatment that was pretty scary. I had to have the injections in my eye, and then I had to have operations to try and remove the blood and put oil into my eye. So the whole process was very, very scary.
So how would you say Milo helps you on a day-to-day basis?
So Milo, he's my right-hand dog. He's with me all the time. He gives me confidence, independence, and lets me live the life that I want to live. So what Milo will do, as you can appreciate, if I go outside, I can't see where the curbs are and stuff. I can see kind of shapes, blurry shapes, but I've not got depth perception or distance. Yeah. Car, say, was coming towards me at 30 miles an hour from about 20 foot away. I wouldn't be able to see that. So Milo actually uses his eyes to kind of inform me that you can't cross yet, Dad, wait there a minute, and then we'll cross. Milo will find curbs for me so I don't trip down the curbs. He'll remember routes, and I describe Milo as an obstacle avoider, whereas when I was using my white cane, that was an obstacle detector, so I'd have to bump into things to know they were there. But with Milo, he avoids them before I even get to him. He just massive confidence.
When you became blind, did you have Milo straight away, or did you have a cane first and then you got Milo?
So when I lost my sight, I was with nothing for about, it's nearly 12 months. I was with nothing, so I had to grab hold of people's arms and stuff and guided around without being independent. I then got taught how to use the cane, the white cane, so I used that for a while. I absolutely hated it. Then we got in touch with guide dogs. Yeah, started the process of being matched with a guide dog. I didn't know it was going to be Milo at the time, but with a guide dog that suited me. And Milo came along.
So our co-presenter Sam, he's written a few questions for you. He's aware that you're training for the Paralympics, and do you have any words of encouragement for anyone training in a competition that's similar to you?
Yeah, so what I would say to anyone who is visually impaired or with any disability that actually wants to train in a sport, just go for it. Just give it a try. Take little tiny steps. It don't have to be big steps. It doesn't have to be a huge, big step at the beginning. Every champion was once, a beginner, a starter. Every black belt in judo was once a white belt. Just give it that one little step, and if you like it, you carry on. If you don't like it, there's nothing forcing you to do it. I'm lucky. I found judo and I fell in love with it.
Do you have any advice on anyone coming to the acceptance with a condition similar to yours?
What I would say is ask for help, accept the help. I've learned that people are very kind and nice. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it will be difficult. It is very difficult, but ask for help and accept the help, and just take your time. There's no rush. There's no rush to do anything. It's a different way of life. But yeah, definitely ask for help and accept the help.
Now, I hope you enjoyed that interview. It was so lovely seeing Scott last week. He's such a lovely, kind man, and his guide dog Milo is just adorable, the most adorable dog ever. Now, if you're loving these interviews, there's going to be more coming this month. Next week, we're going to be back to our normal schedule with the podcasting, and then in a couple of weeks, we're going to be having more interviews for my radio show. It's going to be all different kinds of people with disabilities, different types of conditions, mental health conditions. We're having a wide variety of spread. And also, if you would love to hear these interviews live rather than pre-recorded on the podcast, you can head over on the internet to catextra.com crew to listen to them live every single Monday, 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. Or alternatively, you can listen to them on DAB radio if you're in the Cheshire, Staffordshire area. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this interview, and I'll be back with more in a couple of weeks.